I'm going to go up here and talk a little bit about the boxes that you see, since this looks like a table. You would have already learned what an option was or should have. If you haven't already, I'm just going to reiterate what option is. An option is the list the user has to select from. This is also the list you use when you're working with expressions. Expressions are basically true-false statements that you use when you're creating conditions within your template to include or exclude text. Might be entire paragraphs, might be entire pages or documents. These options are things that either you cut and paste into our program or you type in. Now, it's great to have these options here, and sorry, I'm going to go back to this. The option is what prints. The nice thing about a state option is that, and having the state spelled out, is that not everyone knows what all the abbreviations for states are. I know it might, for you might be startled to think that someone doesn't know all the state abbreviations. Some of you may say, oh yeah, I know quite a few people within my office like that. But so generally when I'm coding, I try to speak with my clients about having the state spelled out in the actual dropdown. The problem with that is that's actually what prints in the document as well. You can see Alabama printing out in the document, and that might be okay when you're in something like a preamble and you are printing the address and you want the full state spelled out, or maybe in a signature block. But there are other areas, well, even in the preamble, you may not want the full state spelled out. In areas where you don't want the full state spelled out, but you still want to have the option look a certain way, let's say having the full state spelled out, you're going to use merge text. And what merge text is it merges in something in lieu of what you see in the option. Literally think of it as this is what merges in for the selected answer. This is the text that merges in. Merge text is stored in the component file, and we do have some merge text that is part of the program, the words he, she, his, her, him, her. I actually happen to have all of the state specific abbreviations in the program already. I brought them in as part of training previously. So I'm just going to select them from the list. Now, if you didn't do this, just go out onto the internet, find all of the state specific abbreviations and copy them. And then I'll go ahead and do this and show you. So I'm just going to copy this column and I'm going to wipe it out. So I'm just selecting this. Now, what you can do once you've copied that list either from the internet or maybe you've copied it from an Excel file that you have somewhere you've copied it, you can right click and say paste multiple, and it'll just paste it right down in. You don't have to type these in one by one or paste them in one by one. So let me talk a little bit about this idea of AL merging into the document as the answer when you select Alabama. Now, it isn't the answer, okay? It's the result. Let me go ahead and click test and show you what I mean. So Alabama is the answer. That's what's going to be stored in my text answer file. That's what HotDocs is going to remember as the selected option for the multiple choice. The result that's actually going to merge in the document is AL, because HotDocs is reading in the multiple choice across from the word Alabama. It's being told that instead of merging in Alabama, it should merge in the characters AL. So that's what merge text does. Now we use merge text. I'm going to go ahead and select another one so you can see while I'm talking. So we use merge text for something like this. We also use merge text for entire paragraphs instead of doing expressions. There are videos on expressions, so if you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, go ahead and watch those and then come back. So if you have paragraphs that are mutually exclusive and you want to include this paragraph when option 1 is selected and another paragraph when option 2 is selected, you might be able to use merge text. In areas where you have him, her, he, she based off of gender, we use merge text a lot. Now this is default merge text, which means anytime the client state is used in the document, it's going to merge in Alabama, AL, the abbreviation for the word Alabama. So if I come down here in our document And I know it's going to be kind of painful to watch me type, but I really want you to see this. So I'll just select this portion of the document. I'm going to click test. 111 Main Street, here, Alabama, blah, blah, blah. And you can see instead of merging in Alabama, it merged in AL. If this client city was located somewhere else in the document, it would merge in Alabama. Now, if you want to learn how to change that, how to have it merge in Alabama only in one location of a document, you'll want to watch videos on field properties instead, specifically default versus field property type formatting. I'm going to go ahead and come back to my variable for client state, and I'm going to remove my merge text because I want to talk a little bit about what a prompt is. So the option is what the user selects from the list. The option is what you will use when you're creating expressions. Merge text is what prints in the document based off of what the user selects when it sees it. So we have this prompt box. Now, a prompt box is similar to a variable prompt. It's just text that displays for the user so they know which option to select. There are times when we're entering our options that we enter an abbreviated portion of the text. And because maybe the text is never printing in the document, we're only ever using it for expressions or conditional logic. And we write we want something longer than the option showing for the user. That might be our prompt. For the sake of this particular video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use again the 2-letter abbreviations. I still have them in my copy in my clipboard, so I'm going to right click and say paste multiple. Actually, I don't have them in my clipboard. I'm just kidding here. I'm going to copy this column, and now I'm going to paste multiple. So what will happen is this never prints in the document, but the user sees it. So I'll select my drop down, and instead of seeing the option, they see the 2-letter abbreviation. However, when I select Alabama, remember I don't have merged text in my multiple choice. In my result, the Alabama actually prints in the document because that's my option. Okay, so the option is what is the default if it's there. Now, okay, I've explained some of these, but it might be a little confusing with what we're doing. Let me put a merge text in as well. So what would happen, you're probably thinking, if a merge text was there? I have a prompt, that's what the user sees. I have an option, and I have merge text. The merge text still is what prints in the document. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some hierarchy. First, I'm going to talk about the hierarchy of what prints in the document. If merge text is entered, that's what prints in the document. If it's not, the option prints. Now I'm going to talk about what the user sees. If a prompt is entered, that is what the user sees and selects in their screen, in their interview. If a prompt is not entered, they see and select from the option. I hope this was a helpful video for you. Thank you for watching.